So I just second-guessed myself for, a second. And it all went wrong, ended up having a massive crash.
Never wanted anything to do with being Māori. My skin was a cage I just wanted to be free of. Vivid memories, cry myself to sleep. Wish that my skin was white.
To a lot of people who you talk to about me, I'm always the happy, bubbly one. But then behind that, I was trying to help other people to try and heal my pain.
We want to retain our individuality as a race. If judged by your standards we fall short, does it matter very much whether we square up with the Pākehā standards or not?
Ka manawaru tātou I te rerehua. O te pū rerehua. Engari, ki hei te waha te ki, e ngā hūroritanga. I whāia kia hua ai tēnā rerehua.
Never wanted anything to do with being Māori. My skin was a cage I just wanted to be free of. Vivid memories, cry myself to sleep. Wish that my skin was white. It was all about stereotypes for me. Brown man murders this person. Brown man beats wife up. Māori woman has 5 kids. Teenage pregnancies. Alcoholics, druggies, and all of that I believe to be true. A lot of the Māori had been, beaten out of my grandmother's era. Passed down to my mum's generation, she didn't speak it, none of my uncles did. And then down to me. So my connection growing up with Te Māori is quite distant. Ko tainui te waka, ko upoko kārewa toku maunga, ko manga o kiwa toku awa, ko Ngāti Manipoto toku iwi, ko Ngāti Rora toku hapu, ko te pīriri papa kāinga toku marae, ko Luke Moss toku ingoa.
So this is the viaduct ki ngā tangata whenua ki konei. The viaduct, according to the locals. So this is the Mangokiwa Reserve. This is the awa, my awa, Mangokiwa. Yeah, when I was young, I used to come up here quite a bit. The family barbecue, they had little metal barbecues, a lot of memories. So coming out here is quite nostalgic.
My nana, she went to Te Kuiti Primary School and I went to Te Kuiti Primary School. And I went to Te Kuiti Primary School. What I see for most people in Te Kuiti is you go to primary school, you go to high school, and then you pick which meat works you go work at. So, it's not, I want to be a business person, I want to go become a lawyer. Throughout my high school and uni, my nana always mentioned to me, "Oh, Luke, you should pick up those little Māori classes." Yeah, man, I will. It wasn't until, my nana got real sick, and then she passed away, and then it sort of just clicked in my mind, that's what I need to do. Took a course at Waikato, full year immersion, Te Tui Paitahi. It was the best and worst year of my whole entire life. My mind was telling me, bro, give it up. But my heart's telling me, struggle through it, and in the end, you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. Connecting with my culture, after I learned Te Reo Māori, it was like someone just handed me this key, and all these doors of opportunities were unlocked, instantly.
Culture's his clothing brand that he started. He first told me years ago he wants to do his own clothing label. I told him he was dreaming, go get a real job. I don't know if you want to prove a lot of people wrong.
Well, I first started, I bought 50 beanies. I was going to buy 20. I was like, nah, I'm buying 50. Bought 50 beanies and then thought, no one's going to buy my beanies. A week later, they all sold, and I was like, oh, man. Oh, halfway through the year, I had to quit my job. So every single day, sending out stock. Well, I never thought I'd send so many emails a day, especially overseas. Man, it's just crazy. I'm just figuring out like the tax stuff and talking to the accountant, making sure everything's like in line.
Got a text from my mum last week, said I needed to pick up an oven for the marae next time I come down to Te Kuiti, so went and stopped in Te Amutu, picked up the oven. Now we're heading up to Papakainga, drop off the oven up there to the marae. I like doing stuff for the Papakainga just because it goes straight back to my people. That's what means the most. There's no place in the whole entire world that I'd rather be than here. For the future, I'm really excited. All I think about all the time is what can we do here to improve and how can we set this up so our wokapuna and our tamariki can thrive in te ao kiko.
Any chance I sort of have to engage with the youth and rangatahi, I'll try and jump at it. Today we're heading into one of the local schools down here, just doing a quick kōrero about design and starting a business. Sort of show them the blueprint, I guess, of someone that's come from Te Kuiti, gone and started a small business. So this is my why for my everything. So in design they teach you not to just make cool designs, but actually have meaning behind it. I'll tell you guys a bit about my journey through making clothes. So made these beanies called the Makachili beanies. What does Makachili mean? Does anyone know? Cold as, yeah. It's like a sort of play on words from the Māori word makariri.
Luke's a local boy, so he relates, he knows the area and the district, and he knows lots of the kids. So having someone local that's achieved amazing things come in and talk to them, hopefully they will see if they put their mind to something, they can achieve it.
When I fail at something, it means I can only get better. Every day I've priced things wrong. So I'm selling t-shirts for $20, but really it cost me $25 to make. So I'm losing $5 every time. So make mistakes, and instead of going, oh man, I suck at that, it was more of a, I want to do that again so I can make it better. Yeah, so I make mistakes every single day. If you don't make mistakes, then you're not learning because you're just doing the same old thing. We always put barriers on as we're getting older. We always see more barriers because we have more experiences of getting told no, but for young people, it's unlimited. They just know I can do anything in the whole entire world and there's no barriers that are going to stop me. It's important for people to embrace their culture because I guess for me, without it, I wasn't even myself. And now I think about the future. I already know what I want to do for the future. I want to go change people's lives. I want to help rangatahi. I want them to experience what I've experienced. But it wasn't until you truly know yourself or know your culture and where you come from in the history of, that whakapapa that's been leading down to you since the beginning of time that you realise, oh, hey, I'm actually here to do something on this earth and I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow what my tupuna have done and I'm going to keep going forwards.
He mataoho ka kitea mā te huarahi. Ka whāia i te tangata me tāna whakamahi o na whiako. Ka mārama ake o whekitenga i tō titiro ki tōu ake ngākau. Ngā kai titiro whakawaho, ka moe a. Ngā kai titiro whakaroto, ka mai ea.
If I was talking about wearing a mask, To a lot of people who you talk to about me, I'm always the happy, bubbly one who's just, wanting to help everyone. But then behind that mask, I was trying to help other people to try and heal my pain. When I was younger, I was molested. It carried on till my early 20s, and then I was eventually raped. I've had quite a few suicidal thoughts in my life. I think that was the main cause of my mental illness from when I was young. My fear for ever coming out was that I would break my family and that I'd break my mum. But I just thought I have to stop thinking like that and I have to do something because there's so many other people. And what if this happens to someone else in my family? And what about all of those who don't have a voice, who want to say something but can't speak up?
Yeah, she's had quite a few obstacles. I actually thought I knew everything until last year when she, opened up to me.
After I told my mum, I feel like I can finally be me. My family can finally understand why I put so much into what I do.
The spirit is really open, and when she smiles, well, you have to, because it's just all-encompassing. It's just, I think it's just beautiful.
My mum would probably be like one of the most influential people in my life. Just growing up and seeing how she's had to deal with life and just push through, and when we were really struggling, she just kept going. Her mother, she was Dr. Chikolavini. She was the first female to finish dentistry school in Fiji. She became one of the first female ministers in Fiji, and then eventually she was the first female Speaker of House and Parliament. When I was 14, I had the opportunity to go to Fiji and help. And then she was just travelling around to different villages where she'd started up this program with a woman. So they had sewing machines, and she was teaching them to sew so that they could make their own clothes and stuff, and then sell it and then get money out of that for their families. And I think that's what sparked my humanitarian side. My dad was a fisherman his whole life. Him and my mum met on the boats when she just went to do a random trip. And then they fell in love. And my dad passed away a couple years ago. It was the hardest thing in my life. I was very numb. I think how I have turned, my pain into something else is just living life to the fullest and really putting my all into my siblings and making sure that they get the best life that they can, and also just teaching them and reminding them about my dad so that his memory lives on with them too. We've been here since I was about 2. And we've always just had such a strong connection, sort of to the land.
You know how old these trees are?
Oh, actually, I think Mum planted these ones. Now, in the summertime, daily life is waking up, we all have breakfast, then we come out here and we always have to pick the plums, and then we just package it and sell it on the side of the road, or we go to town and sell it at farmers markets and stuff.
I used to go to the Ohope market and just sell from the back of the truck. And then Talei thought she could do a better job, so she took bags and walked through the market. And then I sold out straight away because people kept coming in, because this little girl with the curly hair was saying, "Plums for sale, plums for sale." Yeah, that pretty much sums Talei up.
I'm a youth advocate, and I'm also the Whakatane Future Leaders Coach for this year's Future Leaders program. He wants to study, that's why I'm going to bring him in. He wants to do CV, and he wants to study personal training. One of our main challenges would be drugs and alcohol, but drugs is really quite huge around here. Meth is growing, and it's quite evident when you go in and you see all our babies. They're hungry, they've got no shoes, but then also all of the ones going through high school now, you can see there's a lot more behavioural problems. Just working with a lot of these different youth, I know that it stems back to drugs and alcohol, just intergenerational trauma that's happened within their families.
If you want to succeed, as bad as you want to breathe, then you will be successful.
I actually met Talei at an event that she put on, which was called Let's Talk, speaking about mental health, the environment, opportunity in the area. She was really inspiring. Like from the get-go, I was like drawn to everything that she promoted.
And I'm passionate about my community. I'm passionate about fair representation. I'm passionate about just ensuring that there's stuff for our youth to do. No point getting to 18 and not knowing what to do and people blaming you.
We want to teach our young people about politics, about the beehive, about what goes on in Parliament, because it all relates back, you know, it's politics is in the marae, politics is in your house, and just sort of making it more accessible to people, but also teaching people we have a say of what goes on in our community. We've got a say in what goes on in our town. In 2018, so I was working for the Electoral Commission and I was just going around looking for different youth groups that I could go in and talk to about enrolling to vote. And then I came across the Future Leaders group. They were talking about the impact we're gonna make in our community, connecting with other people and just talking all the sorts of stuff where I was like, oh my gosh, I was born for this. I'm ready. And then we ended up going to Festival for the Future. It was in Wellington. I remember sitting at the back of the TSB Arena and the first speaker was Professor Hanaduri talking about Maui and fishing and how Maui used to go out with his brother and they'd go at the same time, the same day, the same fishing spot and always came the same size fish. And then it moved on to where Maui knew there was something bigger for him. He went out and pulled up the biggest fish. The end of Professor Hanaduri's speech was, if there's anything you remember from my speech, it is to find your fish. As you can see, I took it quite literally. And it's to help people find their passion and turn it into their profession so that people could find something they love, they can be getting paid for something they love so that they're living for their work instead of working for a living. And how we are doing that and aiming to do it better is to provide free workshops and free programs in the community run by members of the community who are passionate in that area. I want to see Find Your Fish being run here in Whakatane. It's called a movement because I see it going across New Zealand. I want to see it established in Whangarei and Wellington, being run by youth leaders in the community who are passionate about the same sort of stuff I am, going hard, making a change in their community. That would be my ultimate dream.
Ko te ngā kaurorotu te pāinga kotahi. He pānga nui atu ki te angitu. Me te manahau, tēnā, i tētahi mea kē atu. Ahakoa he aha o hiahia, mēnā e pīrangi ana koe kia autaia koe. Me nui tō aroha, me taia hoki te whakau raupanga.
We go off an 8-metre hill, reaching speeds up to 65 kilometres, and you have to jump 10 to 14-metre jumps. And there are some jumps around the track that are quite daunting and you cannot second-guess yourself. I'm Jessie Smith. I'm from Gisborne, Tairāwhiti, and I'm a professional BMX racer. Becoming the fastest woman on a BMX bike has always been a lifelong dream. Winning the junior world title last year, it definitely made me want to chase that more often. To win the rainbow jersey and have a gold medal around your neck, it's amazing. And then seeing your country flag, it's what gives me that drive when I have those bad days at training. It's, looking back on Instagram or whatever and seeing, I did that, I was a world champion, and it reminds you that, you are good enough and you can do it, so just keep pushing forward. My family's quite big, mum, dad, and then I've got 2 sisters and a brother. I'm the baby of the family. BMX racing started for me when I was 4 years old. I fell in love from the beginning. Just being on my bike, the adrenaline, crashing and getting back up and trying again, and also winning. Being a big family, you know, brothers and sisters, it's always very competitive. So me being the youngest, I wanted to win with everything. Super competitive in everything I did. If I wasn't winning Monopoly, I'd, you know, flip the table or something, but I guess that competitive side kind of made us want to just do better and want to win, and then it transferred into my sport. BMX racing, it isn't the cheapest sport out there. My day job is painting / labourer, so I do a lot of the prep work, so sanding, wood filling, gap filling. I used to work 5 days a week, but now reduced to 2 days a week, or, you know, every now and then half days, 3 or 4 half days around the week to just cover some financial costs, living costs that an athlete goes through. When I'm riding, there's a million things happening. You're thinking about who's in front of you, who's behind you, what jump you have to do. As a young kid, I always wanted to become a high-performance athlete, but I didn't really believe it, I guess, until maybe 14, 15. That's when I guess I started travelling the world a lot more and getting like good results, and I started seeing the progression in myself. You know what, if I really put my mind to it, that I probably could become a high-performance athlete. Expectation now compared to when I was a kid has changed hugely. As a kid, you're riding for fun, and the expectation is for you to do your best and to enjoy it and have as much fun as you can. Now, seeing you do well before, they expect you and think that you should constantly always be doing good. In 2019, at the end of the year, in October, there was an Olympic test event held in Tokyo. I had a few practice days, was feeling really good, and then it came to race day. I just second-guessed myself for a second, and it all went wrong. Put myself in hospital for a week, ruptured my spleen, and ended up with a really, really good concussion. Having that massive stack put me behind in training, but also with my mentality as well. Going back onto the bike, I struggled quite a bit, and I'm still struggling with my confidence and my self-belief. It's really gone from here, and it's just dropped. To me, being Māori, the people of the land, it means a lot to me, and to know where I come from and what our people went through back in the day and are still going through, it means a whole lot to me that we are together and we are as one, and we are the protectors of our country and of the earth. My tribe, my iwi, you know, that I can go back to for support, and I have so much support within the Māori culture and the Māori people that it's amazing, and it gives me that, you know, that mana, that strength, that drive to represent my people and on the world stage show them that, you know, us little Māori over here in Aotearoa, we can do it too. Made me want to be fastest Māori on a BMX bike. The end game and the end goal for me is to compete and represent Aotearoa at the Olympic Games, the pinnacle of anyone's sport, and to just show the world and show other tamariki and other young girls that you can achieve anything. If you want it that bad, you can get it. If you put your mind to it, make those sacrifices, And it is tough, and you will struggle, you will go up and down, fall off, crash, get injured, but you just got to get back up and continue and do your best to reach that goal.
Me nā kaore ahau e aro ki ahau anō, mā waike. Me nā ka aro ahau ki ahau anahe, he aha ahau. Ka mutu, me nā kaua inaia nei, hei āhea.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.